This one's a classic.
Does anyone else ever find that they get pretty quickly attached to the Pokemon they use in a playthrough? Oftentimes, I find myself transferring my party to Pokemon Home so I can see them the 2 times a year I actually look at my Pokemon boxes. I'm pretty sure I'm paying for this, by the way. That's why the idea of a Nuzlocke run has always been kind of off-putting to me. Pokemon faints, it's no longer usable, the implication being that they're fucking dead. But then I became a YouTuber, and with the standard for content nowadays being monotype, hardcore Nuzlocke, randomized, my wife just left so I'm depressed playthroughs with no items or EVs, and extra hard trainer AI, well, I guess I can give a basic run a shot for the sake of content. I just wasn't expecting it to be one of the most stressful Pokemon playthroughs of my entire life. It started with Heart Gold. I'm more of a Soul Silver boy myself, but Generation 2 has always historically been one of my favorites regardless, and I've never actually played Heart Gold. Access to 2 regions, 16 gyms. Once you finish Johto, you get to go dominate Kanto too in a victory lap of sorts. These Generation 2 playthroughs always felt like a more substantial journey when compared with the other games, but I also wanted the convenience and Pokemon pool available in Gen 4. I also just think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are 2 of the best Pokemon games ever made. Okay, let's see, how many more reasons can I give? The real reason is that I have a 3DS with a capture card that I'm desperate to use for any reason whatsoever because it was expensive. The rules I plan to adhere to are cherry-picked from different rule sets to make sure I actually enjoy the experience, so here's what we're working with in this playthrough. No party Pokemon can share types. Only one of each, including secondary types, as this forces me to be more deliberate with my choices. 2. No items in battle. This is the only way these games are challenging in any capacity, if you ask me. Obviously, Pokeballs are allowed for catching new Pokemon though, and in the same realm, set battle style. This is a habit I picked up from my days of poorly speedrunning Pokemon Emerald, and it's how I play every Pokemon game now, even casually. You don't get to scout the opposing trainer's next Pokemon, which evens the playing field a little bit and makes switching Pokemon potentially dangerous because of moves like Pursuit. Level caps enforced based on the next gym's highest level Pokemon. A rule from the hardcore Nuzlocke rule set that I actually thought was fun and not punishing or extreme for the sake of content. Standard Nuzlocke death rules. Box Pokemon permanently if they faint, no catching duplicates. So if a Meryl faints, for example, I'm not allowed to catch an Azurill to replace it. I'm not sure how standardized this rule set is. Like I said, it's kind of just a combination of rules that I thought made the game challenging and enjoyable. With all that out of the way, we grab our Dunsparce, the cutest of the available starters, and we begin.
Part 1. Does the game even work?
Maybe I'm a little crazy for this, but I think I want to choose Dunsparce. Am I insane for that? Dunsparce is like one of my favorite Pokemon. I mean, it's a Gen 2 Pokemon, man. Like, I love Gen 2 Pokemon. Kind of a weird choice, maybe, but I like him. He's weird. Brave Nature. Magic Guard. The Pokemon only takes damage from attacks. What? Well, yeah. That's how you do damage. What? This is actually pretty decent. It means I can't get burnt and I can't get, well, I can't take damage from burns or poison from what I can tell. I think I randomized abilities. I didn't mean to, but I guess that was in the settings, so we're gonna have random abilities, which is great for somebody who doesn't know a lot about Pokemon. I got the Pokegear from Mom and the potions from Professor Elm, and so it was me and my unnamed Dunsparce against the world. I decided against nicknaming Pokemon for this playthrough, mostly because I couldn't come up with anything funny enough, quickly enough, for Dunsparce. So I'll pretend this was a deliberate choice and not a justification. I was running into some technical issues with this randomizer up until now, so I was only half invested at the beginning of this run. I figured something would probably break and I'd have to re-randomize. Lucky for us, that never ended up happening, so Dunsparce with Magic Guard is our starter. It's locked in. I wasn't sure if this was going to be a better pick than the other 2 fully evolved Pokemon that were available, but in doing research and as we'll see soon enough, I found that he was actually indispensable as a pretty tough Pokemon for base game content, even though Rage is the only attack he has until level 17. Look at him. He's the best. Oh my god, wait! Dunsparce learns Roost. Dude, that's actually like a good recovery move.
Can you beat Pokémon Heart Gold with only a Dunsparce?
I don't know. Motherfucker, shut up. I will go as long as I can without catching other Pokemon, but considering I'm utilizing level caps as well, I don't think a level 13 Dunsparce can beat Falkner. I was just gonna say it. Maybe it's a controversial statement, but I'm still saying it. All right, let's just get this taken care of. Let's get this starter quest taken care of. On the way to pick up the mystery egg, I ran into a number of Pokemon, none of which were all that interesting. Igglybuff wasted a lot of my time with its Sing plus Charm combo, and I found a Focus Sash due to the randomized overworld items, which I put on Dunsparce for the time being. Our rival had two options for starter choice: Licky Licky, which is relatively easy to take down with Rage, and Golem, who is a fully evolved rock and ground type Pokemon. When it came time for the first rival battle, I panicked a little bit because I had no idea which of the two he had actually chosen. Lucky for us, he picked Licky Licky over Golem. This was a terrifying moment for me. Something tells me that if he had chosen Golem, this fight would be nearly impossible and this run might be over before it even began. First bullet dodged, and maybe the only bullet dodged in this entire playthrough. If Licky Licky knows no other move, I think I can win this. Well, if Dunsparce kills itself, I don't really have much. This is all RNG. Dunsparce might kill itself. Nice! Let's go! Yo, Dunsparce is kind of the best Pokemon in the game. Well, just don't look at its stats, though. I have a bad habit of always going for the cutest Pokemon instead of the most practical or best for the situation, which is why I chose Dunsparce over fully evolved Pokemon. Pokemon Heart Gold, but I only use cute Pokemon. That's pretty on brand, right? I'm not doing this with you, Ninkata. You can harden all you want. I'm not going to spend another 2.5 minutes fighting you. The boy's name? I caught his name. Whoa! Ponyta! Okay, I think I know what we're gonna try to catch next. I didn't know you could get Ponyta on this route. Wait, is Huntail gonna kill it? Huntail's gonna kill Ponyta. There's no way a level 2 Ponyta survives level 10 Whirlpool from more interval. He killed Ponyta! So, this is how you catch Pokemon. It's better to lower your target's HP more than I did, you know, below 0. Oh, that was beautiful. What a great example of catching a Pokemon that was. Thank you so much. I am now good at it. Shinx! What? Alright, I'm catching Shinx. I suppose the goal of this should be defeating Red, which is a fairly standard goal for these games. For now, though, I was only focused on the first gym, and I wasn't naive enough to believe that Dunsparce alone could handle Falkner. I definitely wanted at least one more Pokemon and was lucky to come across Shinx. Useful for now, but needs to evolve to really show its power. Both of my Pokemon are brave. Swarm powers up bug-type moves in a pinch. Let's hope she gets something better when she evolves, because that's not useful for a Shinx. One of my favorite things about Magic Guard Dunsparce is his immunity to weather effects. Nidoran's sand stream whipped up a sandstorm, but it was in vain. In fact, I'd argue that it was kind of counterintuitive, since Nidoran takes damage from the sandstorm and Dunsparce doesn't. The journey to Falkner was not difficult by any means. In fact, when going through the Sprout Tower, I realized that keeping Pokemon around the same power level as the vanilla unrandomized game is a little bit on the easier side, at least in the beginning. This is definitely a setting to possibly revisit in the future for more dynamic and interesting gameplay. I don't want to be fighting untrained level 12 Tricos who pose no threat, you know? Throw a Zapdos in there or something. Get weird with it. Ruin my day. Very soon after, it was time to take on the Violet City Gym. Both Shinx and Dunsparce were level 11 at this point with pretty mediocre movesets, but there was only so much more training I could do, and none of the Pokemon I had found up until this point felt like they were worth my time. Just not cute enough. We all know Falkner has a Nidoran with Sandstream, so it was silly of me to lead with Shinx. What was I thinking? Dunsparce did get beat down pretty hard by Nidoran's double kick and Leer combo, but in the end, Pidgeotto just wasn't strong enough to actually take him out. Shinx, in a calculated move on my part, survives on 1 HP to finish off Pidgeotto, and the Zephyr badge is mine. And no, I definitely was not worried about Shinx possibly dying. Why do you ask?
Part 2, JOHTO's Hard Carry.
The reward from Falkner, other than the glory of my very first victory, was the Roost TM. Yes, Dunsparce learns it eventually on his own, but something within me was screaming, "Teach this to Dunsparce immediately!" Since I enabled unlimited use TMs, I only stood to gain from doing so, and I'm very glad I did. Before we get to that though, there's a new addition to the team. Say hello to Cherubi, the pure grass type with the ability Inner Focus. We'll be slowly leveling her up alongside the other two. That is, if we don't lose all of our Pokemon in a vicious, random, tragic trainer battle. Right? You see, it wasn't long until my first major challenge confronted me. A Pokemon randomized in such a way that I wasn't even certain I'd be able to move past it. It was a mistake on my part to engage with this trainer. Had I known better, I would never have dared cross the level 15 Weedle. What is that critical Weedle? That's too much damage, I gotta use Roost. Oh, this Weedle's fucking strong, what the hell? Uh-oh, this is not good. Weedle is really strong. Great, and the poison worked, perfect. So Shinx is on a timer now. Shinx is gonna die if she gets hit again, so I'm gonna swap back to Dunsparce. Maybe try to sleep Weedle? Poison won't hurt Dunsparce. Okay, I think I got this. I think we'll be fine. Just don't crit. Perfect. Glad I taught Dunsparce Roost early. Good, 1 turn sleep, very useful. Well, everyone's gonna get a piece of this Weedle EXP pie. Oh, thank God, Magikarp is a breath of fresh air. Whew, it was a close one. So this guy randomly just has a level 15 Pokemon, really? So Dunsparce learned Glare, so that might be useful. Dunsparce is actually, you know, when I caught Shinx, I really thought to myself, this Pokemon's gonna start carrying. Dunsparce is still kind of carrying pretty hard. All right, let's hope this guy doesn't have a surprise level 30 Pokemon or something. Developer Jacqueline. All right, let's go ahead and add Pokemon randomizers to the list of things that are weirdly, like, relaxing to play. They're just slow. This is a nice change of pace. Dude, I might really actually enjoy this. This was around the time I was really starting to settle into the JOHTO atmosphere, really starting to appreciate it, you know? A slow-paced, enjoyable game that remains interesting because of the random elements. Like I said, this is the first time I've attempted content like this, so I really wasn't sure what the experience would be like. I've been very pleasantly surprised thus far. Even defeating that level 15 Weedle feels like a triumph rather than just going through the motions of a Pokemon game. But we have a lot of game left ahead of us, and we can't get too distracted by one difficult trainer. Our next opponent is Bugsy, and he's not too far away. Since the new level cap post-Falkner is 17, I wanted to make sure all of my Pokemon were at that level before I even attempted to take him on. Going into this playthrough, I wasn't actually fully committed to the Nuzlocke thing. At this point, I was still unsure whether I was approaching this as a traditional Nuzlocke run, but gaslighting myself into believing I was pretty much guaranteed that I would take this challenge seriously and value the lives of my Pokemon without the pressure of knowing that, yeah, when they're dead, they're dead. I was also curious what Pokemon would be within the mystery egg, so I made sure to let that hatch in case it was some godly, perfect entity who would solve all my problems and beat the rest of the game for me. Guys, shh, the egg's hatching. It needs complete silence from the viewers. Turns out I didn't randomize it. That didn't matter much though, as I would get my wish very shortly after this. I mean, Togepi's normal type, so I can't use it. Let's see what ability does it have. Run away? It's like, no, Togepi's getting boxed, sorry. I thought I randomized that egg, but I guess not. Next time I will. Preschooler Stacy. All right, Stacy, you're done. All that nonsense, the animation, the sound effects, and you drain 1 HP from me. Was it worth it, Ninkata? Was it worth it? Welcome to Onion Cave. Give me something silly. Give me something out of the ordinary, you know? Give me something like a little wild. Burmy. Oh god, it has Protect. Whoa! Gibble! Oh my god! Yes, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are having a conversation. We are speaking to one another. This is a good catch. As long as, does he have a low catch rate? Uh-oh, I only have 1 Pokeball left. Down and B, hold down, you have to hold down and B, and that's how you get a better catch rate. That's from the Gen 3 games. That's when they implemented that and they never got rid of it. Yes! See, it works. All right. Dragon Ground, that's good. Neither of those slots are taken right now. Hasty. Sand Veil boosts evasion in a sandstorm. Oh my god. This is a pretty good Pokemon, I would say, if I had to guess. I'm not an expert, but I think this was a pretty good get. In fact, I'm gonna have him follow me. So let me see, let me look up some information about Gibble. About my favorite new Pokemon, Gibble. Gibble actually passes the Togain Ultimate Litmus Test for determining which Pokemon are cute, but just barely. His evolutions don't. This means I can't actually let him evolve, so he might not scale very well long term. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, this Union Cave Dragon Pokemon is going to serve as my ace for the next few gyms. His ability, despite being randomized, ended up being Vanilla Sand Veil, which seems scripted.
Was it?
Slowpoke Well is our next stop to stop Team Rocket from taking more Slowpoke tails. Isn't that a little messed up? Am I crazy for always feeling as though this whole Slowpoke tail plot device is a little morbid? Either way, this serves as good motivation for defeating Ace Trainer Marilyn, who we all know is the mastermind behind Team Rocket's Slowpoke tail plan. After that, it was on to Bugsy for my next gym badge. Oh, Gibble learned Sandstorm, so he's officially, like, really fucking good now. Bugsy fight. It's time for the Bugsy fight. I mean, Cristiano, my bad. The gym itself gave me a little bit of trouble, but I remembered that these games were designed for kids, and the puzzles are actually kind of ridiculously easy. This means as a 29-year-old adult, I only spent 15 minutes trying to figure it out instead of 20. That's technically progress. Electrode was a bit of an intimidating lead. I thought he might have self-destruct or explosion, but I didn't realize that it's actually incapable of learning those naturally by level 17, so I was kind of worried for nothing, trying to keep my wits about me due to my lack of precision knowledge of Pokemon movesets. I set up Sandstorm on Gibble, who learned the move fairly early, resulting in a miss from Electrode and a subsequent sweep of Bugsy's 2 Ralts with Dragon Rage. This gives me the Hive badge, and Gibble wasn't even really all that close to the level cap, not to mention how he was the only Pokemon I had to use in the entire fight. That's another victory, and it was starting to make me feel a bit cocky.
Part 3, Preparing for Trouble.
We have another Glorp rival fight ahead of us, but I was really not concerned in any capacity. Gible is so ridiculously strong right now that one turn to set up Sandstorm resulted in another fairly clean sweep. The Meowths in Ilex Forest have the very cool ability Arena Trap or something similar. I don't actually remember which one it was, maybe Shadow Tag. Either way, I couldn't escape them, which made the far-fetched recovery section take way longer than it probably should have, since I had to knock out every single Meowth I came across. This finally gives me my first HM, and since I enabled universal HMs, I simply need to find a Pokemon to throw them on who will pretty much just be an HM mule for me. Eventually, I decided to exclude designated HM Mule Pokemon from the unique type clause, as it just made my life far easier to have a Pokemon with 4 HMs who I would specifically never use in battle. For now, though, I just threw Cut on Cherubi and headed on to Route 34. This is where trainers really kind of started to step it up a notch. We have here Strongman Mark, for example, fellow Gible haver. I actually don't know if switching into Gible was a better play than just taking on Mark's Gible with Shinx, but after seeing how easily my Gible takes down any Pokemon with Dragon Rage, I was not interested in risking my team getting wiped, and I figured a stab dragon move might be the only way to quickly take it out. I didn't get punished for it this time, but it's important to analyze decisions like these to make sure my judgment is as sharp as possible. It's the esports player in me. He's trying to get out, but I won't let him because I'm too busy playing Pokémon Heart Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke for the Nintendo DS. Shinx is evolving! I think when Shinx evolves, it's still cute. Now, we're gonna have to analyze Luxray though. Luxio is still pretty cute. Come on, look at that face. It's like a cat-dog thing. It's like a weird quadrupedal creature. We're officially in Goldenrod City, an iconic location, but I wasn't ready to challenge the next gym quite yet. Yes, Gible could probably sweep the whole thing without issue, but back in Slowpokewell, I ran into Shroomish and wanted to replace Cherubi with a future Breloom, a solid grass/fighting poke that I thought very easily passed the Togain Ultimate Litmus test for determining which Pokemon are cute. I was simply drawn to my Gen 3 roots, what can I say? Honestly, Cherubi and Breloom have very similar stat totals anyway, even though they're distributed a bit differently, so this was more of a lateral decision than me trying to min-max. I also thought that fighting subtype would be very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Okay, we can actually go get Kenya now. Let's see if that's randomized. I don't think I can get the Eevee yet. Not quite, but I can go get Kenya and see what he is. It's still a Spearow. Man, I really didn't randomize these? Seriously? What ability does it have? Is it worth keeping? Powers up water type moves in a pinch. This is a nothing Pokemon. Next time I'm gonna randomize all of the gift Pokemon and stuff, because this is lame. They're all vanilla. That does mean that I have a guaranteed extreme speed Dratini available to me later. So that's good, I guess. I can definitely get a Dragonite. All right, I'm gonna buy some Pokeballs and I'm gonna go catch a Seedot. I don't know where Pokeballs are though. This place is a mall. Here we go. Okay, now let's go back to Ilex Forest, or no, it was Slowpokewell. It was actually in Slowpokewell. So I got quite a journey ahead of me. Drowsy, look at him, he's been dipped in chocolate. Who did that to him? Let's get a Seedot. Well, Shroomish, sorry. I was saying Seedot this whole time. Shroomish has been captured, and her ability and nature, docile, I think that's neutral, and then Cloud 9 eliminates the effects of weather, which is very much not helpful with a Gible build. But I don't see Gible being a part of the team forever anyway, because it'll eventually kind of fall off. It's kind of only good right now because it's still early game. And I'm gonna put Cherubi in the PC so that I don't have overlapping grass types. Wait a minute. Do the Game Corner Pokemon get randomized too? Abra, Ekans, and Dratini. No, it's the same rewards, unrandomized. I didn't think to randomize all this stuff. but it would have made it more interesting for sure. I got the radio card after only 12 or so failed quiz attempts and cleared out Whitney's gym of trainers, holding off on fighting Whitney herself. I wanted to get Shroomish as close to the level cap as possible because who knows what kind of heat Whitney's packing. She might have the gun Pokemon. The Shroomish training was going well. She started to learn a few useful moves that allowed her to actually take on trainers entirely solo, but I may have flown her a little too close to the sun. Shroomish is actually, I was gonna say, Shroomish is actually kind of capable of... No, what? I think Slugma has like Arena Trap or something. Oh no. Oh no, is Shroomish gonna die? I just spent so much time leveling her up. Come on, paralyze, 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 paralyze. Okay, paralyze is good. That gives me a shot. Not yawn. Why do you know yawn, Slugma? No, the embers are gonna kill Shroomish. Shroomish is dead. No way. Please, paralyze proc. Why is paralyze not procking now of all times? When I need it the most? Shroomish woke up, hit a tackle crit. Slugma didn't kill Shroomish? Oh my god, bro.
+1 dead Pokemon.
Slugma knows like Arena Trap or something. The whole reason I'm even fighting this trainer was so I could level up Shroomish. Oh my god. Rollout sucks, by the way. That 10% chance to miss, fucking it always procs. Due to the no catching duplicate Pokemon clause, my Breloom dream would have to be retired for this playthrough. Cherubi fans rejoice, she's back on the team, but she's still very weak. I had been putting off the Whitney fight for a while, but with my Gible sweep abilities and my newly dead Breloom, I mustered up the courage to actually take her on, and it went very well. Chinchou was her lead, and it comes with Sandstream, saving me a turn of setup and giving Gible his free avoidability boost. Chinchou went down in a couple Dragon Rages. Vespiquen was next, but it was more of the same. An easy 2-shot with Dragon Rage, and after throwing a tantrum, Whitney gives me the plain badge, our 4th in our journey. Don't worry, I cry when I lose too.
Part 4, Cracking Under Pressure.
I fought some trainers and cleared out Route 35, realizing that I was starting to fall behind a bit in terms of average party level. My team was really missing a fire-type Pokemon right now, though we still had Gible who would demolish everything in front of it for the foreseeable future. It's just that I wasn't comfortable relying on one Pokemon to carry the entire team. I wanted the power levels spread out a bit more. If the tank falls, everyone else is at risk of dying, which would potentially kill the run since I had no backup Pokemon. Without my future Breloom, rest in peace, my only good ground and rock type counter was my poor 275 stat total Cherubi. It also didn't even have a grass type damaging move yet. If I ran into the wrong Pokemon, I would be in serious trouble, and I didn't want to continue risking that, especially after the Slugma incident of 2025. Cherubi learns Magical Leaf at level 19, a move that always hits and has decent enough damage for being the debut stab move in her learn set. She also, more importantly, evolves at level 25, which is what I was more looking forward to. A chance to re-roll her admittedly kind of useless ability that also doesn't synergize in any way with Sunny Day. Essentially, I needed her to start pulling her weight now that she was off the bench. So I got to training. There were a few interesting Pokemon I encountered during this grind. Scyther, Beedrill, Marsh Stomp. What?
Plus 110 Pokémon.
I didn't pay attention to what Marshtomp was doing. I knew Marshtomp was a threat, and I just kind of let him do whatever. Oh my god.
I was careless. I'd like to say it was bad luck or a miscalculation, but the truth is, I just wasn't paying attention. Marshtomp used Bide. I knew it had that move, but somewhere in my mind, I thought, it'll be fine. And it wasn't. That little shark trusted me, and I let it down.
So that sucks. Honestly, it might be for the best that we retire Gibble. I don't love having a free kill any Pokemon by using Dragon Rage button available to me in a run that was supposed to be challenging. And this also forces me to finally start rounding out my team a bit more now that our hard carry is gone. I captured Marshtomp and Scyther, the latter of which I grandfathered into the cute category because he's cool. It is a bit unfortunate that we got a minus speed nature, honestly, as that's an important part of Scyther's kit. All things considered, it's a fine Pokemon, and I'm not allowed to try for another anyway, so it turns out this one's the best, actually. I probably should have taught Cherim Petal Dance, but that note about it confusing her at the end scared me away. It's basically grass-type outrage and probably would have been pretty decent to have, honestly. Oh well. With Cherim at level 25, she's officially at the level cap, so I put her on the sidelines to begin working on leveling some other Pokemon. What the fuck? Bro!
Plus 110 Pokémon.
How does a electric type get to paralyzed, by the way? How does that make sense? How is that fair? Oh my god, I can't believe I lost another Pokemon to a random crit. At this point, I was starting to realize I'm not very good at this. I take unnecessary risks and lose Pokemon because I think not so bad. There's not much to say about losing such a strong Pokemon who was going to be a very important part of the team, and I'm kind of upset about it, but at least I have access to another decent water/ground type with Quagsire, which I found earlier. So, that's okay. That's fine. It feels weird playing this game during the day. Cubone! Oh my god! I want Cubone! I want Cubone. I want Cubone. I'm catching Cubone. That's actually useful. Now that my ground type's gone, I can have another ground type. Sweet. He can headbutt trees, which is actually really useful. Boosts the power of physical attacks? I mean, he has good defense. He's a good physical. He's gonna be kind of tanky. I think he's gonna be kind of tanky. But now I want to headbutt trees. I want to headbutt trees and see what kind of Pokemon I can find doing that, now that I have the ability to. I don't think there are any headbutt trees around, though. Maybe I should try looking for them. They're usually isolated. Oh my god, it didn't kill. Luxio's so worthless. That stat total is so low. I was trying so hard to get him to evolve, and he's just so weak. He couldn't even finish off a half HP Miltank.
Plus 110 Pokémon.
Why did you miss, Cubone? We can't be missing right now. Wing attack, that's so good. Wing attack is such a good, oh yes, a flying type move. Look at that, one-shotting Scythers now with wing attack. Oh, yes, dude. I forgot. I didn't realize that he actually got another stab. I thought the first stab was going to be Fury swipes. Fury cutter. But this is actually already really good. I can probably, like, start working towards Morty now. All right, we're saying goodbye today to yet another Pokemon because I'm a very bad trainer. I tried so hard to make Luxio work, but she was just taking too long to evolve. She was too weak. She was like pre-evolution Cherim. I tried to make it work and she couldn't pull her weight. But I have a replacement. Oh, we got a headbutt tree. What do we get? Barboach. All right, buddy. You're not really helpful. I hate to be that guy, but you're not really very helpful to me. I wonder if there's more than just Barboach, though. Bellsprout, meh. Again, flying type, wing attack's just gonna destroy this thing. It has snow warning, too, which is very funny. Honestly, I could just keep headbutting these trees and spamming wing attack with Scyther until I get to 25. I'm trying to go get my replacement electric type. All right, I'm making an executive decision here. Horsey has a slow start, so I don't want to fucking use it. I'm gonna catch Horsey and use it as my HM mule so that I can actually use HMs. So, because I now need an electric type and I randomly found a Thunderstone in this playthrough and we're playing Heart Gold Soul Silver and I've already talked to Bill, I can go to his house in Goldenrod, get an Eevee because I didn't randomize gift Pokemon, which I normally would do. In future runs, I'll do that. And turn it into Jolteon, which is like a really good Pokemon. I don't know that it's an insanely great Pokemon, but it's quite good, and it's way better than Luxio is. So that's the plan. I'm heading back to Goldenrod right now. Something that didn't drop special attack would probably be even better. But Jolly's pretty good. It means this Jolteon's pretty much always going to go first. There's basically no scenario where Jolteon's going to get outsped. So that's good. We'll evolve Eevee immediately. Welcome to your new life, Eevee. You're yellow. It's so funny because I've never actually used Jolteon before. Ever. Okay, let's hope Jolteon got a good ability. Please, 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 something good. Boosts speed if there is a status problem. Holy shit, dude. I mean, that's not the most amazing ability to get, but it means that this Jolteon's never getting outsped. I don't know exactly how that interacts with paralyzation. Does that counter the speed loss entirely? Because then that basically means Jolteon will always go first, no matter what. The problem is, this Jolteon's gonna be even more useless than Luxio was until I can get my hands on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. What was I saying? Until I can get my hands on an XP share. Okay, shove me out. All right, let's go do the dance theater, burned tower, all that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and take the opportunity. I'm confident in my team now, so I'm gonna take the opportunity to, I'm gonna do level Cubone first. I need to be careful, dude. People are getting really high level. Maybe I should just go straight to the burned tower instead. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and just try to get this taken care of. I love the little coughing in the background. Oh my gosh, there they are! We have a rival fight. Oh my god, we have to fight Glorp. I didn't know there was another rival fight before the gym. All right, boss Glorp. Psychic flying, so ground won't do anything to it. Ice versus ground, ice destroys ground. No. Why does Snover have Arena Trap?
Plus 110 Pokémon.
Oh my god. There was something else I understood on a very deep level. Rollout is dangerous.
Plus 110 Pokémon.
That was fucking devastating. So Glorp kind of single-handedly wiped out my starter and my brand new beloved Cubone. It honestly would have probably been better for me to keep Rage on Dunsparce instead of replacing it with Rollout. This being my first Nuzlocke, I didn't realize how important it was to prioritize safety, so I was careless. Within the past few minutes, I've lost 5 Pokemon, precious babies on whom I've spent many hours training. I was really beginning to feel the Nuzlocke burn, and it was far more punishing than I ever expected. I needed to regroup, fix my team, and get back to a position where I wasn't terrified of any potential encounter, because I would have an answer to just about anything. Unless Arena Trap cheeses one of my Pokemon to death, of course. The first step was finding a Quagsire to add to the team, a near-direct replacement for Marsh Stomp and far cuter, actually. This Quagsire was actually pretty decent too, plus special attack nature with rough skin. This combination was totally insane, effectively making him a solid mixed attacker and a bit of a tank, as far as base game content is concerned at least. Honestly, I was tired at this point. More importantly, I was pissed. My beloved Pokemon had time and time again been taken from me, with only a couple instances being genuinely outside of my control. And that was more frustrating than anything. It was my own fault that some of my favorite Pokemon were permanently retired for this playthrough, and I was ready to go all or nothing against Morty. If I win, the run can continue, and I gain access to more of the region. If I lose, the run starts over with a new random seed.
Plus 110 Pokémon.
Alright, it is time for possibly the last gym leader. These are the Pokemon I have. It's not a great lineup. 2 of them are at the level cap already, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of mercy here and say that as long as I start the fight with them at level 25, it's fine. It's still legitimate. It's just that going beyond that would ruin it. So this could be the end of this run, for all I know. Let's find out. Chingling was first on the field for Morty, not a threat to Quagsire, so I kept him out in hopes of a quick kill. Morty, seeing the 4x grass weakness of Quagsire, immediately switched to Sunflora, who was not a good pick against my Scyther. First Pokemon down. Chingling was back out, again a terrible matchup for Scyther, and Morty even wastes a potion on trying to keep it alive. Second Pokemon down. I had started up Fury Cutter on Chingling and was on the 4th attack by the time Beedrill came out, and I wasn't certain whether Wing Attack or Charged Fury Cutter would actually be better here. Beedrill didn't pose much of a threat to Scyther anyway, so I opted for the latter, only to find out that it did not in fact one-shot Beedrill, so I used Wing Attack. Drapion was the final Pokemon for Morty, which is an easy kill for Quagsire. Quagsire, who should be able to handle it, and we might have this. Whatever. Outspeed me, I don't care. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, the run isn't dead. Yeah, all right. The run is alive. The run lives. Despite all of the nonsense that I dealt with, we got the fog badge. Oh my god, dude. Now we can use surf, which unlocks a lot of the map, by the way, like a huge amount of it.
Part 5, the water ground era begins.
I just need to see where the surf HM is. Okay, we have some fights we gotta do. It's in the Ekrutik Dance Theater, apparently, which is, I knew that was mandatory content, but I didn't remember exactly where. Oh my god, I'm so relieved this run isn't dead. Our new level cap is 31. I don't think anybody actually broke past 25 before the end of the fight, though. Let's see, did Scyther get to 26? Yeah, he did. So, I mean, you can maybe make the argument that I didn't adhere to the rule entirely, but I think in my mind, if you start the fight at level 25, that's legitimate enough. Maybe other people will disagree, but that's fine. They can make their own videos. Let's go to the dance theater. Let's try to get this Surf HM. Be a really good stab move for Quagsire. Oh my god, I'm so relieved right now, dude. I thought that gym was gonna be the end of me. Oh my god, what is Rocket Grunt spinning? Huh? Just Mud Bomb Flaffy. I love Flaffy, as much as I love Flaffy. Wait, does that mean I can catch a Flaffy somewhere? If they have one, that means I should be able to catch one somewhere, right? All right, now we got Surf. So we now have access to a lot of the map. We don't have Fly yet, so running around is still kind of a pain in the ass, but that's for me to deal with. That's not for you to have to deal with. Luckily, you get to see the edited video. Now we need to figure out, let me go back to the burned tower and try and figure out if maybe I can find a fire type Pokemon in there, because I do still need that. Quagsire got really big for a second. Now you can move boulders around. Seems like there's only Quagsires down, or Psyducks down here. Well, there are Quagsires down here. There's one Quagsire down here, and he's killing all the Psyducks. The problem is I have to have a strong fire type for the next rival battle, because he's gonna retain his Pokemon. I enabled that setting. So there's no way forward unless I find a good fire type Pokemon. Let's surf in the little funny pond. Jigglypuff. Oh, this one's level 19, holy shit. Is there anything besides Jigglypuff on the water? Yeah, there should be a second Pokemon in here, but it might just be like Igglybuff. Depending on how these are randomized, it could very well just be Jigglypuff and like Igglybuff. Yes! Oh, yes, 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 perfect. Oh, perfect, 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 perfect. Yes. Oh my god, dude, we did it. Okay, never thought I'd be so excited about getting a Ponyta. Damn, it doesn't evolve to level 40, but it's pretty good regardless. It's a pretty decent Pokemon. Oh my god, we have a team. All right, I'm not really sure what I'm missing right now because I kind of have coverage for most things. I think Ice is still scary because of Ponyta. If I had Baton Pass, that would be awesome. What else does Ponyta have? Oh, I didn't even look at her stats. Early Bird, the Pokemon awakens quickly from sleep. Good. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hi, Raikou. Hi, Raikou. Wait, he can't hurt Quagsire. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. I heard that music and I thought, that's not good. What if I caught a Raikou? That would be a really good addition to the team, I think. All right, bye, Raikou. Pleasure seeing you. I could go out of my way to catch Raikou right now. Sorry, I pronounce it Raikou. I know it's spelled Raikou. I could go out of my way to catch it right now, but I'm not going to do that. The next gym on our list is the Cyan Woods City Gym. Only 2 Pokemon to worry about with Chuck, but I knew better than to take any opponent lightly at this point. We surfed on down to Cyanwood, encountering only one new arena trap Pokemon, Mantike. And in true Nuzlocke fashion, I encountered this Pokemon with Ponyta as my lead, because of course I did. Overall, the journey to Chuck was otherwise pretty uneventful. I had a solid team to work with and was mildly confident about my chances here. You can see my inexperience with Pokemon coming into play. Anyone who's a veteran might see Scyther versus Pupitar and think, yeah, time to switch into Quagsire or something. I saw Scyther versus Pupitar and thought, not so bad. Remember that focus sash I found earlier? I took it off of Dunsparce a while ago and put it on Scyther. I had actually forgotten he had it, so that random find literally just saved Scyther's life. Quagsire versus Hitmonlee was the next matchup, and I really would have preferred Scyther for this, but he was done after that rock slide from Pupitar. I couldn't risk something hitting him. A few earthquakes took out Hitmonlee, and this fight was way scarier than I anticipated, mostly because I misplayed it so hard. Either way, I get my 5th gym badge, proving that you don't need to be good to be rewarded.
Part 6, Level Scaling Lessons.
We get access to Fly now, and I need to mention something that I probably would not have done had I known better. I gave Scyther Fly thinking that it was capable of learning it naturally, replacing Wing Attack and unintentionally creating a non-HM Mule Pokemon who had an illegal moveset. This is because I enabled universal HMs, and so in the future I'll do a better job making sure any Pokemon I plan on actually battling with maintain a, legal set of moves. Kind of a my bad moment there. Anyway, after clearing the lighthouse in Olivine City and acquiring the secret potion to cure Amphi, it was very quickly time for another gym battle, this time against Jasmine. I didn't even have close to enough time to possibly level up anyone even close to the new cap of 35, but I was confident in my team's abilities now, and so I took on the challenge. Doduo came out first, and for some reason I decided to switch out normally instead of just using U-turn for the extra damage it may have done. This Doduo became very scary very quickly as it kept avoiding Quagsire's surfs and was the recipient of a potion, keeping it in the battle even longer. A nice surf crit took care of it before it became too much of a threat, luckily. I should have switched out at this point. Quagsire was very low HP and we were up against the notoriously deadly Love Disc. I had to basically take a gamble that Clefable wouldn't have Pursuit or something, and a switch to Cherim the Staller would prevent his death. From what I learned post-battle, I don't think Clefable can actually ever learn Pursuit, but hey, I didn't know. Cherim was not long for this world, unfortunately. Double Slap, or should I say Quintuple Slap, because that's what it actually was, took out Cherim pretty handily. It turns out my team was not as invincible as I thought, and we have +1 for the Pokemon Graveyard.
+110 Pokémon.
I ended up victorious, but it was a Pyrrhic victory. That being said, I knew Cherim was not really cut out for the battling lifestyle, and I'm not all too surprised we lost her. 6th gym badge in my possession, but at what cost? Price's weird level scaling puts us in a unique position here. Because the level cap for Jasmine was 35, and Price's highest level Pokemon is 34, this actually means that the level cap is now higher than it's supposed to be. Ultimately, this wouldn't matter at all, since none of my Pokemon were even close to it, and I had no plans to get them there, but it's worth mentioning. And that's when I found Mesprit. Whoa! Whoa, Mesprit! Oh my god! Mesprit knows Rest, too, so this will make it actually a little easier to catch. Don't crit, you fucking... Scyther, we're trying to catch that thing. Stop critting. Bitter about my fallen Pokemon and seeing a legendary pure Psychic type with solid stats in front of mine own eyes, I knew I had to capture this one. The Pokemon who has a pitiful 4.366% catch rate when both at 1 HP and asleep using an Ultra Ball. I invested my life savings into Ultra Balls and spent the next hour attempting to catch a legendary. 580 stat total and pure Psychic was simply too good to pass up. Yes! Finally! Oh my god, that took so long. That took so long. I'm so happy right now. Pure psychic type, and I'm gonna nickname this one B. Relaxed nature means higher defense, I guess. And white smoke as its ability is actually pretty good. So, oh my god, dude. That took so long to catch. Now, next stop, Route 30, Mr. Pokemon's house. Yes, I knew it. I knew I could teach B Shockwave. That's gonna be coverage. All right, EXP share acquired. I'm gonna give that to Mesprit B. Try to get it leveled up as much as possible. Now we need to defeat Team Rocket, but I'm not sure where they are. Well, wait, never mind. I think I might have an idea. Huh, I wonder. Dragonite, use Hyper Beam on this innocent man. Whoa, Team Rocket HQ. All right, let's do it. I don't care if Pokemon are hurt by our experiment. And you know what? That's all I have to say about the matter. So I'm a bad guy. I don't even care if they die or get hurt otherwise. I don't care. Holy shit, dude. Lance has a Celebi? A level 40 Celebi, by the way. Wow. Why wouldn't you take down the higher level Pokemon first? Lance, I thought you were a good trainer. Yo, this Celebi is destroying everyone. No, Celebi! What the fuck? No, what the fuck, Celebi? Use a fucking defensive move! Use a fucking defensive move, Celebi, when we can take out Tangela in one turn and you let my Quagsire die? What the fuck is wrong with you, Lance? Now you want to attack. Now you want to attack. You let my fucking Quagsire die. Because I assumed Celebi would kill the Pokemon when there's one Pokemon left. I thought it was maybe an easy fight. That was my best Pokemon! Fuck you, Lance. Lance killed my fucking Quagsire, and I don't know what to do to replace it now. I have to leave and heal because the fucking asshole Lance killed my best Pokemon. Oh my god, I'm so mad about that. I'm actually so mad. What a waste of my fucking time. All that time getting Quagsire up, leveling him, just because Lance decided I don't want to use nature attack or whatever and kill the Tangela. I'm actually gonna do a setup move on the last Pokemon in the party. I'm gonna go ahead and set up. Now that there's one Pokemon left and we've taken out 4 others, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up my Celebi, by the way, okay? Does that sound good to you? Fuck! Never trust the AI. What a ridiculous mistake for me to make. I should have known better and I just should have swapped. But those are lessons you don't realize until you've already paid for them. Fuck, I have to put away Quagsire. Oh my god. Fuck you, Lance. Oh man, I can't wait to beat that guy. What an asshole, letting my Quagsire faint. Now I gotta figure out a replacement for it. I'm lacking a strong water and a strong ground type, and both of the dual type water ground Pokemon have been destroyed and placed in the graves already. So I actually don't know what to do now. Okay, there is another water ground type Pokemon that I can get that I know the location of. I do have Horsey, but it has slow start, so I don't really want to use it. No, Jolteon died. Jolteon's in the wrong box. Jolteon's dead. I guess I could use Togepi now. Togepi. But it has to have high friendship to become Togetic. And then Togekiss would actually be good, but that's a lot of investment. Anyway, I am going to grab Spearow and teach it Headbutt. So that means we have to go back to Ilex Forest, because I gotta get my hands on a Whiscash. Which is such a crazy, that's the point that I'm at now. But hey, I'm using the knowledge I have to make it happen, because I can get Whiscash to, where's Ilex Forest? I can get it to level 30 and have it evolve. Barboach. So, we can do this. What do you mean it can't learn Headbutt? You know what, actually? Headbutt is better than Stomp, so I guess Ponyta's learning fucking Headbutt. And I'll just keep Pidgeotto, I'll keep Kenya as, what did I call it, Pidgeotto? I'll keep Pidgeotto as an HM Pokemon. I love universal HMs, by the way. This is one of my favorite rando options. Cut, Strength, Rock Smash, and Whirlpool on a Pidgey? That's just ridiculous. Did not know Suicune was here. No, I don't want to battle you. What? Who is this guy? Look at this motherfucker taunting me with Breloom. I'm so mad, dude. I wanted a Breloom so bad, and I whiffed it. Actually, it wasn't even my fault. Holy shit, good thing. Wow, good thing it used Counter. That would have killed me, I think. If it actually used Mirror Coat or whatever, I would have died. I don't want to find Suicune anymore because that means I have to fight that guy. And that guy sucks. Here's level 14 Barboach. I'm going to try to catch this one. Why one shot? Why one shot? Okay, let's try this again. All right, meet first try. Let's see what her ability is. Please don't be terrible. Quiet nature, soundproof. Oh, that's so worthless. Let's hope that it gets better on level up or evolution. Let's hope that that is the case. So now we teach it surf and we teach it earthquake. Okay, we have a Barboach. Now I need to level it to 30 so that it's actually useful. And that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next 4 hours. Maybe not that long, but it's gonna probably feel like that long. Barboach is only level 14, and not much use pre-Whiscash anyway. I knew better than to trust that another beloved Pokemon wouldn't be taken from me after investing countless hours into raising it, but it was the only option I had. This was also when I realized that the map function in Heart Gold Soul Silver has the ability to let you tag areas on the map with notes, which is so cool. Very useful for randomizers. Since I had seen so many Pokemon and didn't think to write down any locations, I was relieved to learn that I could take relevant notes within the game itself. That being said, I was aware that the funny little pond in Ecruteak City held only Jigglypuff and Ponyta, so I made that the training spot for Barboach's journey. Hours passed, EXP shares were used, Barboach reached level 21, and then I grew impatient and attempted the gym anyway. Buizel was first out. I led with Barboach thinking I could get some free EXP or maybe run into something that couldn't handle the water/ground combo, but it was just Buizel. Of course, I had no idea that Pursuit, my least favorite move in the game now, was learnable by him, so I sent out Mesprit. Without those strong stats, I'm sure it would have actually died. Hariyama was a terrible follow-up on Price's part, and a couple confusions plus his own belly drum made short work of him. The last Pokemon, thankfully, was Victory Bell, something that I was very capable of killing with Scyther's illegal fly move. Straight to jail! For some reason I was using Fury Cutter, and I actually don't remember why I thought that was the play. It didn't matter ultimately, and Scyther secures my 7th gym badge from Mahogany Town. This time we didn't even lose anyone.
Part 7, The Claire Incident.
But I wasn't so willing to rush headfirst into Claire's gym. If there's any gym leader in Johto I actually respect, it's Claire. She's cool and my wife, and the new level cap was 41, so it was time to really buckle down and get these pokes trained up safely. No more dying, no more mistakes. I still had another entire region to get through after Johto anyway, and I would need some seriously strong Pokemon for that journey. I trained up Barboach until it evolved, giving me a decent Whiscash to work with. After that, while heading towards the Safari Zone to see if it was actually randomized, note, it wasn't, I found a wild Aron in Route 47 and grabbed one of those. Steel/Rock doesn't overlap with any of my current pokes, so I figured it was a decent addition, even if it did cover a lot of the same things Whiscash did. My options were ever dwindling. Team Rocket leader Jacqueline, also known as Ace Trainer Christine, was a huge pain in the ass. Snover lead, meaning Arena Trap, but I was luckily leading with Mesprit, who was a fairly safe choice, being pure Psychic. Of course, they also had a Xatu with Me First, the move that copies the foe's direct attacking move with an extra 50% power and always goes first. A massive headache. The best option I had was cheesing it with Scyther's U-turn, which was actually kind of fun to do. The rest of the fight was relatively uneventful, and I got out of it unharmed. What I seriously was not expecting, however, was Glorp. I was so caught off guard by his sudden appearance and demand to battle that I fought his lead right on with Mesprit, not even considering how I had a Whiscash available to use. Krogunk followed up an easy kill for Mesprit, but then there was the level 34 Licky Licky. I tried switching into Ponyta, which I realized quickly was a mistake, as I basically made her useless for the rest of the fight by forcing her to take 80% damage coming in. Once again, I rely on Scyther to clean up. This was a good call, as it turns out, since for some unknown reason, Glorp now had 2 Bayleafs. I don't know where his Snover went, but Fury Cutter took care of these pokes, and I managed to get through an unexpected rival battle without any losses. When I thought the worst of the Rocket radio station takeover was behind me, it turned out there was one difficult battle remaining. Usually when I play Pokemon, especially with my short history of speedrunning, I give all EXP to a single Pokemon who takes care of every trainer. What I wasn't expecting in a Nuzlocke run was the sheer amount of wasted EXP between Pokemon deaths and generally sharing EXP among a variety of Pokemon to cover weaknesses with a focus on not dying. I say all of this because normally I wouldn't keep Ponyta at such a low level, and I would try to evolve it as quickly as possible for the increase in power. But it just wasn't feasible with this playstyle. It would have taken hours and hours. Abomasnow on paper seems like a fairly easy opponent for a fire type, but not when that fire type has 55 base defense and Abomasnow uses Wood Hammer.
+110 Pokémon.
Goodbye, Ponyta. This was devastating. I had plans to keep Ponyta around for a long time, and I really should have just taken the time to grind it up to 40 for its evolution, since I now had the room to do so with the Claire level cap. This would actually have pretty major implications for the rest of the run, and I would say it was a massive, massive turning point. I made it to Blackthorn City eventually and cleared out the trainers in Claire's gym. These guys were fairly easy, nothing noteworthy happened, but my team was exceptionally low level at this point. There was no way I was going to attempt Claire with this party lineup. It was back to my new favorite farming spot on Route 47. The goal? Level 38 on everybody. That would allow for my sanity to remain intact, while also giving me a fighting chance against Claire. It was finally time. Using a party that I wasn't all that confident with, I decided to take on Claire. Of course, my dumbass had the Pokémon Randomizer open over the game window during the battle, so it's a good thing I didn't win or this would have been devastating. Oh, yeah, I didn't win, by the way. It turns out Claire had a Registeel, and without my fast Ponyta, who would have definitely been a Rapidash by now, there was no chance of killing him. In fact, let me go ahead and recreate the battle for you and illustrate what it was like because I'm such a nice guy. Honestly, re-recording that demonstrated to me how insanely easy it would have been to win on a second attempt, but hey, that's the game. And that's the story of my first Pokémon Randomizer Nuzlocke ever. I made so many mistakes. A better player could have absolutely completed this entire run with the same seed and no prior knowledge. It was actually insanely fun though, and I will probably be revisiting this again in the future. In the end, I lost a total of 15 Pokemon and spent nearly 20 hours playing before I lost to Claire's Invincible Registeel. That's almost one Pokemon dead per hour. It was super chill though. This is definitely the kind of thing I could see myself streaming in the future, but we'll see how things go.